At the beginning of the story, we see a boy named Bisak, who is attending this school class for the first time. The teacher introduces him to the entire class and mentions that Bisak is a very good boxer. After that, she announces that from today onward, Bisak will be the new head of the class boxing group. Hearing this, all the students start clapping. However, Wasol, who is the most intelligent and calm student in the class, is not happy at all to see Bisak. In fact, Wasol had previously studied with Bisak in a technical school, where Bisak used to bully him constantly and had made his life miserable. As soon as the teacher leaves the classroom, Bisak begins to show his true nature. He immediately picks a fight with the biggest troublemaker in the class and brutally beats him, establishing his dominance on the very first day. After that, he walks straight toward Wasol and grabs him by the neck. A girl tries to save Wasol and stops Bisak, but in anger, Bisak slaps her and pushes her away. Staring at her, he asks if she is Wasol's girlfriend and why she cares so much about him. He further says that it doesn't matter to him because he doesn't hesitate to hit girls either. Out of fear, Wasol grabs Bisak's hand and desperately begs him to stop, but this only makes Bisak even angrier. Shouting loudly, Bisak reminds him of the lessons from middle school and then starts beating him mercilessly. Deep inside, Wasol wants revenge. At that moment, his eyes fall on a pen lying on the ground. With trembling hands, he picks it up. As Bisak comes closer and mocks him, calling him a coward, he says that if Wasol were truly a man, he would have attacked him by now. Overwhelmed with fear and panic, Wasol loses control and suddenly stabs the pen into Bisak's eye. Bisak screams in pain, and all the students in the class are left shocked. Wasol himself is terrified by what he has just done. After this incident, Wasol is presented in court. The court concludes that he intentionally used a weapon, which resulted in Bisak losing one of his eyes. It is not considered self-defense, and Wasol is sentenced to 2 years in juvenile detention. His mother breaks down in tears in the courtroom. Afterward, Wasol is taken to jail on a bus along with other prisoners. On the same bus, there is a very dangerous inmate named Jang, whom no one dares to sit near. Jang is a skilled MMA fighter. Another boy takes Wasol's seat, forcing him to sit next to Jang. After reaching the prison, the guards confiscate all the prisoners' belongings. Then a man asks him in a formal manner what case he is in for, and Wasol quietly replies, attempted murder. Hearing this, all the prisoners are shocked. Out of fear, the inmate immediately apologizes and lies, saying that his case is similar. Both Wasol and that inmate are assigned to the maintenance team inside the prison. Inside the prison, inmates have already formed their own teams. When Han introduces himself to the other prisoners, he honestly admits that he is only there for a theft case. At that moment, a senior inmate named John begins explaining the rules of the prison to the 2 newcomers. He says that rank here is decided only through fighting. If you cannot fight, then disappear, or you will be erased. At this time, the prison is divided into 3 major groups. The first group belongs to Song Hep, who is a world judo champion with unmatched skills. The second group is led by one, who, in anger, seems no less than a devil. The third group belongs to Sung Yong, who may look small but is capable of crushing anyone. To gain power and control, One and Sung Yong come up with a plan. They stage a fake fight and falsely accuse Song Hep of attacking them and stealing smoking supplies. As a result, Song Hep is sent to solitary confinement, leaving the prison's power in the hands of only 2 groups. However, the truth is something entirely different. The real ruler of the prison is neither of them. In fact, there is a man present whom even all 3 of them combined cannot defeat. His name is Jing. Wasol, however, knows nothing about Jing yet. Han then tells him that the person he sat next to on the bus was actually Jing. He had won the lightweight championship 3 times in a row and became the first person in history to become a world champion at just 18 years old. But when Jing returned home to celebrate his victory with his mother and sister, he was met with silence. His sister was lying on the ground with her throat cut, and nearby lay his mother's lifeless body. Seeing this, Jing was completely shattered. Suddenly, a masked thief attacked him from behind, wrapping a rope around his neck. However, they didn't realize they had chosen the wrong person. Jing lifted the attacker and slammed him onto a table, then brutally defeated the other 2 thieves as well. Despite this, the court considered it excessive self-defense and sent Jing to prison. Meanwhile, both Won and Sung Yong begin searching for new members for their teams. Won recruits Han into his group, while Sung Yong chooses Wasol. During a game, Won is about to score a goal when Sung Yong blocks him and tells Wasol to kick the ball. Out of fear and nervousness, Wasol accidentally kicks the ball straight between Won's legs. Won collapses to the ground in pain, furious. Enraged, Won grabs Wasol and starts dragging him away forcefully. At that moment, Wasol is reminded of his past in technical school, where Bisak and his friends used to drag him into a storeroom to beat him. He immediately realizes that this man is about to do the same to him. Just then, Jang happens to pass by. Wasul quickly runs toward him and asks for help. He says that they should mind their own business and that he just needs to talk to Wasul, telling Jang not to interfere. However, seeing Wasul's condition, Jang replies that it doesn't look like he wants to talk. After that, Jang himself takes Wasul along with him. Seeing this, the other inmate becomes furious and attacks Jang. In response, Jang slaps him just once, but the slap is so powerful that it leaves him dizzy. Despite that, the inmate angrily charges at Jang again, but this time, Jang knocks him unconscious with a single punch. After some time, we see Wasul sitting with other prisoners studying. Suddenly, an unexpected visitor arrives. It is none other than Baisak. He has lost his right eye, and his boxing career is completely over. With anger in his eyes, he looks at Wasul and says that he will wait every day for his release. The day Wasul gets out will be the day his real nightmare begins. Hearing this, Wasul is terrified. He starts crying and begs for mercy, but Baisak does not forgive him and leaves in anger. Shaken and scared, Wasul returns to class. As he looks out of the window, he sees Jang running on the ground. He goes to him and thanks him for his help. Jang calmly replies not to worry, saying that for now, he is safe. Wasul tries to talk to him and even offers him a milk carton, but Jang completely ignores him. Despite this, Wasul continues bringing milk every day to the ground. Eventually, Jang gets annoyed and tells him not to bring milk again. Still, Wasul keeps following him. Finally, Jang stops and asks what he really wants. He questions whether those people are troubling him again. Wasul replies that no one is bothering him, but he wants to become like Jang. He wants to learn from him and become strong. Jang asks why he wants strength, whether he plans to hurt others or bully the weak like everyone else. Wasul explains that he has no bad intentions. People constantly beat and bully him, and he is completely exhausted. He says he does not want to run anymore. He just wants to live a normal life. Hearing this, Jang pauses. After thinking for a moment, he agrees to train him, but on one condition. He says that it takes him 30 minutes to complete 100 laps around the ground. If Wasul can complete 100 laps in 40 minutes, he will train him. Without hesitation, Wasul starts running alongside Jang. However, after just a few rounds, he becomes extremely tired, and Jang moves far ahead of him. Even then, Wasul refuses to give up. Memories of his painful past in technical school begin to resurface, where Baisak and his friends used to beat him mercilessly. Using those memories as fuel, he keeps running. But by the time he reaches the 50th lap, he is completely exhausted and collapses on the ground. Jang tells him that there is no shame in stopping, but remembering his weak and fearful past self, Wasul gathers the strength to stand up again. Like a wounded lion roaring one last time, he pushes himself with everything he has until he finally loses consciousness. Although he fails to complete the test, Jang is impressed by his determination and stubborn spirit and accepts him as his student. Since Jang has a good relationship with the jailer, Wasul is transferred to his cell. Without wasting any time, Jang begins his training. He asks Wasul to do push-ups, but Wasul performs them in a very awkward way, clearly showing how difficult it will be to train him. Jang explains that he will push his limits further and there is no magic involved, just increasing the exercises every day. From that point on, Wasul dedicates himself fully to training every single day. After intense training, Wasul becomes much faster, stronger, and more confident than before. Meanwhile, Baisak is seen walking in the middle of the road when two men shout at him and tell him to move aside. Baisak quietly steps aside, but as he walks ahead, he suddenly breaks their car's side mirror. Enraged, both men rush to attack him, but Baisak brutally beats them and knocks them to the ground. Their boss turns out to be a dangerous gangster. Impressed by Baisak's fighting skills, he asks if he is a boxer. He offers him a deal, saying that if Baisak works for him, it will greatly benefit him. With that, he hands over his card. However, Baisak refuses and rudely shows him the middle finger. The gangster smirks and says he knows Baisak has already lost one eye. He challenges him, saying that if he can dodge his slap, he will let him go. Furious, Baisak attacks him, but the gangster quickly slaps him across the face and knocks him to the ground. He then tells Baisak that if he trains under him, he can become even stronger. Driven by his desire for power, Baisak finally agrees. Some time later, Baisak arrives at the gangster's office. The guards try to stop him, but he single-handedly beats all of them, including the senior guard. Seeing this, the gangster becomes extremely pleased. Back in prison, Han tells Wasul that even though he has become stronger through training, he still doesn't think Wasul can defeat one. He also reveals that Jang will soon be transferred to an adult prison. After that, no one will be there to protect him from one. Hearing this, Wasul is shocked, as he had no idea that Jang was leaving. He immediately goes to Jang and asks if it's true. Jang calmly replies that he cannot stay with him forever and protect him all the time. Now, Wasol must rely on his own training. Meanwhile, Han is watching Wasol train when some members of one's group capture him and start beating him because he failed to bring Wasol to one. Soon, Wasol arrives at the scene. He attacks one of the students and rescues Han, taking him away. The two students run back to One and inform him of everything. Furious, One says he doesn't care about anything and orders them to bring Wasol to him at any cost, threatening to kill them if they fail. The two boys approach Wasol and try to convince him to come along. Jang is about to drive them away, but Wasol stops him and decides to go with them. Standing in front of One, Wasol faces his anger. One immediately attacks him, but Wasol dodges and delivers a powerful slap that knocks One to the ground. All the prisoners are left stunned. Enraged, One gets up and starts beating Wasol mercilessly. Wasol tries to fight back, but One overwhelms him and knocks him down. One believes that Wasol is finished, but suddenly, Wasol gets back on his feet, staggering. Everyone is shocked to see this. Wasol grabs One by the collar and repeatedly headbutts him in the face until One collapses. Then, sitting on top of him, Wasol starts raining punches continuously. At that very moment, Jing arrives just in time and stops Wasol, taking him away from the scene. The next day, both of them return to training, but Wasol seems distracted. Jang punches him in the face and tells him to focus. This time, Wasol gets angry. He dodges Jang's attacks and moves close enough to stop his punch right in front of Jang's face. Seeing this, Jang is surprised. He smiles and says that Wasol has improved, but he still needs to train with more focus. He reminds him that he can no longer afford to be weak. Jang then says that today's training will end early because he has to leave. Wasol insists that he is not sad, but Jang reveals that he is being transferred to an adult prison. Hearing this, Wasol is devastated. Before leaving, Jang gives him one final lesson. He explains that sharks do not have swim bladders. If they stop moving, they sink. That is why they must keep moving forward constantly. He tells Wasol that he is like a shark, and if he stops training, he will become weak again. With that, Jang leaves. Wasol breaks down in tears, but remembering Jang's words, he starts training again with determination. After Jang's departure, Wasol is about to be sent back to One's group. However, Sung-yong's teammates distract the officer and take Wasol with them. Sung-yong tells Wasol that he wants to fight him. He proposes a deal. If Wasol wins, he will do whatever Wasol says. Wasol agrees and sets his condition. If he wins, Sung-yong must stop fighting and bullying other prisoners. Sung-yong accepts the deal and suggests fighting after 5 days, but Wasol demands to fight immediately. Angered by this, Sung-yong starts kicking him. Wasol expects a kick to his arm, but Sung-yong suddenly strikes his head, knocking him to the ground. Before leaving, Sung-yong says he will wait for him after 5 days. Meanwhile, Sung, the captain of the maintenance team, has already been released from his cell. News of Wasol defeating One spreads throughout the prison, and Sung starts mocking him. One angrily tells him that while he is celebrating, he doesn't realize that Wasol might take his position. Hearing this, Sung becomes uneasy and goes to the maintenance team to ask about Wasol. Just then, Wasol arrives. Sung directly asks him if he wants to take his place as captain. Calmly, Wasol replies no, which brings Sung some relief. A few days later, Baisak comes to meet Wasol again. Ever since Wasol defeated One, even the gangsters' guards have been talking about him. Hearing this, Baisak is surprised. He says he can't believe it and that maybe Wasol is truly preparing to fight him. He says he'll be waiting for that day, but reminds Wasol not to forget who he really is. With that, he leaves. Finally, the day of the fight between Wasol and Sung-yong arrives. All the prisoners, including Sung-yong's teammates, gather to watch. Sung suggests that they should stop all this fighting, saying that violence has brought them nothing but punishment and injuries. Just then, Wasol arrives and asks Sung-yong if he will keep his promise after losing. Sung-yong replies that everyone is present and backing out is impossible. If he loses, he will stop fighting and bullying other prisoners. As soon as he says this, Sung-yong launches a fast and aggressive attack on Wasol. His speed is incredible, and at the beginning, Wasol struggles to keep up. However, gradually he starts fighting back. In the middle of the fight, Sung-yong suddenly delivers a powerful kick to Wasol's head, knocking him down to the ground. Everyone thinks the fight is over when Wasol falls to the ground, but he slowly stands up again. Sung-yong traps his neck between his legs and tries to choke him, but Wasol starts striking his thighs, forcing him to let go. Seizing the opportunity, Wasol grabs his neck and climbs onto his back. Sung-yong tries to shake him off by slamming him against the wall, but Wasol refuses to let go. Both of them fall to the ground, and Wasol asks if he is losing and whether he will keep his promise or not. At first, Sung-yong refuses to accept defeat, but as he begins to suffocate, he is finally forced to surrender. Just then, the guards arrive. Because of the fight, Hwa-sol is thrown into a cell, but after some time, he is released. Song then brings Hwa-sol in front of Won and Sung-young and declares that until they get out of this place, none of the four of them will fight again. He says they must end this foolishness and come to an agreement. Won laughs and mocks him, asking what he will do if they refuse. Song calmly replies that if they don't agree, he will be forced to take strict action, and they can already see that they are no longer strong enough to compete with his team. Hwa-sol also respectfully asks them to stop fighting, saying that it is time for them to change. As promised, Sung-young agrees to stop fighting, and with no other choice, Won also accepts. After that, the four of them become good friends and start eating together. Sung-young even teaches Hwa-sol how to kick like him. A few days later, the day of Hwa-sol's release finally arrives. Before leaving, he visits the ground one last time and remembers the moment when Jang taught him how to use his shoulder to win fights. After leaving prison, Hwa-sol is on his way home when Bae-sak suddenly appears. Hwa-sol asks him why he hates him so much and what he has ever done to deserve this. He questions why Bae-sak keeps troubling him. Calmly, Bae-sak replies that he doesn't hate him and that there is nothing special about him to even deserve hatred. Hearing this, both of them take off their jackets and the fight begins. Bae-sak brutally beats Hwa-sol, leaving him in terrible condition. However, finding an opening, Hwa-sol lands a powerful punch on Bae-sak's face. Bae-sak stumbles, but then throws his jacket over Hwa-sol's face and starts beating him again. Hwa-sol falls to the ground, his face covered in blood. Bae-sak mocks him, asking if he really thought he could defeat him. He reveals that one day Hwa-sol's mother came to him, begging for her son's life, but he drove her away. Hearing this, a fire ignites inside Hwa-sol. He remembers Jang's teachings. Slowly, he removes the jacket from his face. His face is covered in blood, but his eyes show no sign of giving up. Bae-sak attacks him again, punching his face repeatedly, but this time, Hwa-sol fights back with equal force. Both of them exchange relentless blows. Suddenly, Hwa-sol uses the round punch taught by Jang, knocking Bae-sak hard to the ground. Blood is now flowing from Bae-sak's face as well. Driven mad by anger, Bae-sak charges at him again, but he has lost control of himself. Seizing the moment, Hwa-sol delivers a fast kick like Sung-young, knocking him down once more. Bae-sak gets up again and punches him, but now Hwa-sol has become so tough that he no longer feels the pain. At this point, Bae-sak becomes scared and turns his face away. Seeing this, Hwa-sol feels pity for him. He decides to leave him there and quietly walks away. A few days later, Hwa-sol visits the prison to meet Jang. Jang is happy to see him. Smiling, Hwa-sol tells him that he went to an aquarium to see sharks. He says that Jang once told him that sharks never stop moving, even when they sleep, but the sharks he saw were resting in one place. Jang laughs and replies that those must have been dead sharks. Hearing this, Hwa-sol bursts into laughter, and Jang laughs along with him. And with that, the story comes to an end. Thanks for watching. If you want to see part 2 of this series, make sure to comment part 2.